looking at this parallelogram here, what were some of the opposite angles of the parallelogram? And when we say opposite, that means they're across from each other. Eleanor.
C, D, and B,
Those are not opposite. Those are a different one, which we're going to get to maybe today, if not for sure tomorrow.
A, C, and B, D?
Yeah, angle C and A, because again, they're across from each other. Angle C and angle A. And then the other one is D and B. Okay. Now, let me erase this. So, what are all the consecutive angles in the parallelogram to the right? In terms of, again, the consecutive angles, they share that side. Martina, give me one. Okay, so again, here's line AB, right? So angles A and angle B are on that, right? Okay, give me another one. Give me another one. Huh? Okay, C and B. Because this line right here shares angle C and angle B. Okay, that's two. Two sets.
D and A.
Did you say D and A? Yep, right here. So we got angles D and angle A. And then, of course, the last one that leaves, C and D. Because they share this line right there. All right, what is the sum of the interior angles of any parallelogram? 360 degrees. And a parallelogram is called a what? What's another name for parallelogram? How many sides does it have? So what's another name for a four-sided shape? Quadrilateral. Okay, very good. So I want you to get your books out. Excuse me. Page 70. So, and again, the picture is right below it. Let me scroll this up. So it says, what do you notice about the relationship between opposite angles and consecutive angles in the parallelograms on page 70? Okay, of your textbook. Use any rulers. So, if you look at the picture there, right? Angles are opposite each other, right? That's a cross. Consecutive ones are the ones that are? Yeah, they share the side. Okay. So I want to give you guys another few minutes. I want to see what you can what you can come up with. So see if you can figure out the missing angles that are on your page below here in your shape. All right. And see if you see any patterns between what pattern seems to relate the measures of opposite angles in any parallelogram, and what pattern seems to relate the measures of any consecutive angles in a parallelogram. But be able to answer those questions first, you got to find your missing angles in the picture below, and that'll help you. All right, so we're going to give you a little bit of time to work on that. All right, so we're going to pause the video. All right, but down below, right, these two angles are opposite angles, right? All right, did anyone figure out what the measurement for this is?
130.
Yeah, it's 135. All right, so this one has to be 45. I'm not going to say anything yet because you got to figure out a pattern. Now, you can't see this one over here, but this little parallelogram, I'm going to kind of just free draw it, which is M, L, J, K. And they gave you this one at 60, right? So this is 60, that's 120, and that's 120. So go ahead and fill those angles in. Now that you have that information, you should be able to answer questions 1 and 2. All right, see if you see any patterns. So, for example, it says, what patterns relate the measures of opposite angles? So, from B and D, from A to C, from M to K, from J to L. What do you see there? What pattern do you see there? What do you see? What do you see?
For like B and D, you always have to like so B is 135. That if it's a cross, that would be C has to get 65.
So so that means they're what then?
Same.
They're the same, right? So the consecutive angles, they are the same measure. They're the same angle. They're the same degree. Oops. I answered the wrong question. Right here. Now, what do you notice about opposite angles like A and D? Those are opposite. C and B, those are opposite. M and J, those are opposite. L and K, those are opposite. So what do you know about those? What can you tell me about those, Maria?
Those equals add up.
So they equal 180. So that means they're called what? If they add up to 180. They're supplementary angles. Supplementary. Good. All right, very good. So we just learned something about consecutive angles and opposite angles, right? Angles that are opposite each other on the same side add up to 180 degrees. They're supplementary angles. Angles that are opposite each other, okay, have the same measure. Yeah, we got some shirts. Okay, so it says find the measure of the missing angles below. So this 150 they gave you is angle D. And it's hard to tell, but this little letter over here is an I. Okay? So what I want you to do is on this line right here, where it says A, B, C, D, and L, M, N, O. Okay, I want you to see if you can find the measure of those angles, but see if you see any patterns in here. Okay, that's what you're going to write on the column that says patterns you know from figure B. And then I want you to tell me the sets of angles that are congruent. And again, what does the word congruent mean?
Same.
They're the same exact measure. Okay, so by yourself or with a partner, okay, we're going to take some time for this, at least 10 minutes. So I want you to go through and kind of see what patterns you notice. Like if certain angles are equal to certain angles, why? So what are you doing? All right, so kind of find, and again, tell me which angles are equal to each other. They're the same. All right, so take some time with your partner. We're going to go over this. See if you can kind of fill in these missing angles too. Once you kind of fill in the missing angles, everything else should be pretty easy, right? All right, so we're going to pause while you guys go through and can work on that before we come together. So let's. Yeah, I'm just going to raise this D to avoid confusion. So this angle here is 150. What's angle A then? What's angle A's measure? Aiden?
30.
30 because?
Because it equals 1.
Yeah, these two angles are supplementary, right? They that straight line equals 180, so that's 30. So if that's 30, what's this angle right here?
50.
Not 50,
150.
150,
That's 30.
and that's 30. So you got these, right? So how did you do on the other side? Anyone find the angle any of these?
The same thing.
It's the same thing. Very good. Now, why is it the same thing?
Because the lines are straight and the lines are the same. The lines are the same length.
Well, these two lines are what?
Parallel.
Parallel. Very good. All right. So here's something you notice right now. So our two horizontal lines are parallel, right? So again, so when this line goes through on a diagonal, these angles are going to be it's going to be pretty much the same deal because the angles are this line is going through at the same angle to both lines, right? So what are some of the patterns you notice besides what I wrote?
It all equals up to 180.
What all equals up to 180?
Angles plus 180.
What angles? Because if I
Wait, what?
so the set of four angles equal 360 degrees.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to say the set of four angles equals 360 degrees. Okay? Does anyone have something else they can add to that? Come on, I'm sure everyone saw some things that are different. You can add to it. What else? Lily? You mean from the angle here and here?
Yeah.
So the angles on the one line match the kind of same side angles on the other line? Okay. I'll see how I can word that. So um, let's say angles on each set match each other maybe? I don't know how to word that really good. So what she's saying is this, right? So like A and M were the same, right? B and N are the same. C and that's O are the same, right? This one and this 150 are the same, right? Okay. All right, good. Does anyone have anything else I can offer? No? All right, so which angles are congruent? What's the word congruent mean? The same. So go ahead and give me an angle that's equal to each other. What angles are congruent, Lily? Give me one.
M and A are equal to each other.
M and A, they're both 30, okay? What else?
B and F.
B and F? Yeah, because if you look over here, this is the same setup. Because these diagonals are parallel. You have two sets of parallel lines crashing each other here, don't you? This line and this line is parallel, and this line and this line are parallel. So we have lots, right? So you got B and F are the same. So let's just stay right now though. Let's just stay real quick on the one. Let's just stay real quick on this line. So if M and A are one set, M is also equal to what? O. Okay, so those two angles are congruent. What about L? What's angle L equal to? N. Okay, and what else? This guy, right, which we kind of don't have a label for. We called it D, but there's a D over here. But it's also equal to that angle, right? Which are kind of on the same side, right? Opposite sides of the line. All right, what else on this side? What about N and B? Okay. Yeah, these two across from each other, these guys, right, are equal.
Yep.
A and C. So you got an idea, right, of all these angles that are equal, right? And if these guys over here, these guys I, so this should be 30. That should be 150. So you see how that works? It's a lot of angles woven together, right? So we're going to kind of find out why here. So let's scroll over. So it says a line that intersects two lines is called a transversal. So that's this line right here. That diagonal we call a transversal. Okay, so know the vocabulary word. So it says you probably noticed that when two lines intersect, four angles are formed, right? See these two parallel lines here? And this line went through them, so there's the four angles here, and there's another four angles there that go through that line. Okay, the opposite pairs of angles are called vertical angles. Okay, now again, this is different from what we did in previous, right? And on the first page with the what we called opposite angles, because those were inside across from each other in a parallelogram. We're talking about like these guys here. So if you look at it, it says F and G, which you kind of see right there, are what they call vertical angles. Okay, so vertical angles, and we are running out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause here, and tomorrow we will pick back up where we left off. All right, so let me stop the video.